I will start with my favorite quote. In a child's mind, there is a possibility of changing the world. If only we rewrite the chapters of the child's history with the child, and then you can see how there is hope. Today, as I stand here, I am also thinking of my childhood. I was all of 8 years old, and all of us love our family time, the fun, the frolic that we have with the family. I was also enjoying with my family. We were in a fair. Suddenly, I found myself alone. And there were crowds surging all around me, and I was in a panic. I was crying for my parents. Finally, I was taken by the police. They took me to the police station, and after some time, I saw my parents rushing in with worry and relief at the same time etched on their faces. This remained with me. And cut to 32 years later, when I thought of setting up my organization, and then I started exploring and researching what are the causes where I could get involved. And a visit to a children's home, I noticed a small child coming and holding my hand, and he wouldn't leave me. That brought home the point: children need families. They need that warmth. It resonated with me so much. What do I do to bring children back to their families so that they can be restored? But those children who can't be restored, how do you create a family-like environment for them? That's how I started. And gradually, bit by bit, as I started working with these children, I realized how much trauma and abuse they have suffered, and the crushing weight of poverty that they have to leave their families and land up in an institution. But when they come to an institution, is the institution equipped enough to give them all kinds of facilities, counseling, guidance? Their counseling and guidance is the organization equipped to do. There again, I felt as if the children who come to the institutions, their traumas are relived because there is no answer to it. And when they grow up and finally they become 18, and at the age of 18, even the law prescribes that they should be getting proper aftercare, but they don't. Most of the time, this is the situation. If you look at the statistics, world over, there are 140 million children who are out of home care. And you look at India, even though it was 350,000 children in 9,500 institutions just about before COVID. But at the COVID, because of Supreme Court's order, these institutions were loosened up, and more than 150,000 children were sent back to their families, and only 95,000 remain. But when you look at them, the situation still remains the same, whether the child goes back to the family or remains in an institution where the child needs all kinds of facilitation, the ruptured education that the child had faced, the lack of developmental facilities, lack of counseling and guidance, it still remains. So these are the issues that we need to really think of. And we started, thinking of how do you develop a framework by which you can address all these issues which a child faces. Most of the time, the children who are in the institutions, they don't even have their legal and identity papers. They are not even aware of their own rights as a child of this country, what are the rights they are entitled to, and their rights are not served. Housing. Can you expect at the age of 18 a child going out and he will be able to find affordable, safe housing? Because at 18, do you think he'll be able to do that? Independent living skills. While you are in an institution, you are not even supposed to be cooking, washing, doing any household chores, going out for shopping. You remain in a cloistered environment. And then at the age of 18, you are supposed to be living out and independently on your own. If you look at social support, these children, they are in an institution and they get to know only children of their own kind. They are not getting exposure to social connections. So when they leave at 18, what kind of community connections would they have? How would they develop connections outside the community and to be able to live on their own? Emotional well-being, they are always, as I said, they are so traumatized as they enter into the institution. And when at the age of 18, when it is time to leave the institution, re-traumatization again starts happening. And imagine, what kind of mindset they go through. I'm going out and where? And who is going to be looking after me? Who is going to be giving me guidance? I mean, all the people who are sitting here, just imagine, go back to when you were about to become 18. What kind of feelings did you have? All of you must be very excited that, now it is time to explore independence, go for higher things in life. And do you think you would be here if you were not served at the age of 18? At least I don't think I would be here. So I think for our emotional well-being, this kind of a continuum of support is very, very needed, which these children who are coming out of institutions are denied many times. Physical health, many times the health issues are not addressed, and especially when you come out, healthcare is so expensive, they don't have any health insurance or anything. How do they look after their health? As I said, education is always ruptured. You from your own home to an institution, there are lots of things on the way. You land up on the street, you land up in an institution, you land up with police. Every time your education gets disrupted. And then what do? Without education you can't go ahead. Then at the age of 18, you could be 8th pass, 10th pass, 12th pass, but no vocational training. So how do you find a job for yourself? That leads to the last point, which is financial independence and career. When there is no financial independence, when there is no capability to earn, and then you expect them to be financially independent, you expect them to develop their career progression plan, is it possible? But at the same time, it is possible if only people come together and they think about these children and about their traumas and about their facilitation needs, then these children can also be children like yours or mine. I will just tell you a story of Neelam and her sisters. Neelam was only 11 and all the children were younger. Her youngest sister was only 4 years old. And they came to us way back. Neelam was only 11 at that time. They were actually given, when the mother passed away, they were given away to an orphanage, which was an adoption agency. But Neelam stood guard. She said, we are not going to be separated. We don't want to be adopted. That's when they came to us. And today, Neelam has her master's from St. Andrews, and she is done in computer sciences. Komal has IB, she has done international baccalaureate, and now she's doing her, master's in hospitality. And so the other sisters have also done exceedingly well. One of them is a pharma specialist, and the youngest one, she is a NIFT fashion designer, working with a fashion design house. So all the children have done so well. And how did this happen? Because people like you or us, we cared and we gave them all the support. Let me tell you about Narmadi. Narmadi and her sister, they came to us way back in 2000. And when she was 11 and her sister was only 4 or 5. Today, Narmadi is doing her final years in Jamia Millia Islamia. She's studying art and she's doing so well. She has taken upon herself to look after other care leavers so that she can revolutionize the care leaving space in India. So she's working for that, and she's a LIFT fellow, which is, learning in fellowship together. So it is her life's ambition to be look after other care leavers so that she can support them. Anjali, again, she came to us after a great deal of trauma, parental abuse, and I don't know what not. But look at her today, she's a successful hospitality professional. So there are a lot of things possible if only, we as a society take the responsibility of looking after them and giving them all kinds of facilities. a few years back, we started thinking about the children who are coming out of other 8,000 plus childcare institutions. Are they getting enough aftercare support? And where is the need? Where is the gap? And how can we fulfill that gap? Our study, gave us a lot of, data. It was called Beyond 18. And we realized that children who are coming out of other institutions sometimes may not be getting the kind of support that they need. I will just give you a story of Rohit. We adopted, 400 such young people from across India, from different organizations, and all of them are doing so well because they've been supported in all the domains of the aftercare sphere, which I showed you. Now Rohit is working with Tata Group in refrigeration department, and he's very happy to do things for other care levers as well. So the idea is you raise yourself and you raise other care levers standards also. So sometimes I wonder, at that time the police caught me and brought me back to the family, brought me back to my family. If they had not found me, what would have happened? It's really a sobering thought, but it is a very important thought. I think children really need support, and all of you here, I implore everyone, please think of these children and young adults and support them. You can be a mentor and help them rewrite their histories, rewrite their future. You can be a supporter, donor, and help them educate themselves and help them chart a new trajectory for themselves. You can also share their stories so that more and more children get a very supportive and very supportive community around them. Many of our children, youth, they have told us when they go for a job, it becomes kind of stigmatizing when they tell them that we have been an orphan and we have been raised in an institution. So if we are able to develop that kind of a sensitivity as a community, then they will be really served. Mahatma Gandhi had said, if you really want to find yourself, lose yourself for others. I think this is my appeal to every one of you. If only we come together, we work for these children, we will be able to help them go ahead in life, and they will be able to develop a different kind of a trajectory for themselves. Thank you.